According to the Statistica Research Department, in 2021, the poverty rate in the United States was highest among people under the age of 18, with a rate of 16.87% for male Americans and a rate of 17% for female Americans. Realizing that people are in need and that I can do things has helped me do more for the people around me. People in poverty are members of our communities that participate in society just like me and you. And my objective today is to convince you to do more for people in poverty. Today, I will be talking about what exactly is poverty, why it's bad, what causes it, and what we can do to help people in poverty. Poverty has a fairly simple definition, but can have some pretty detrimental effects. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the U.S. Census Bureau uses a set of money income thresholds that vary by family size and composition to determine who is in poverty. If a family's total income is less than the family's threshold, then that family and every individual in it is considered in poverty. And according to the Center for American Progress, this is what happens with child poverty. Reduces in productivity and economic output by 1.3% of the GDP or gross domestic product, raises in the cost of crime by 1.3% of the GDP, and raises in health expenditure and reduces the value of health by 1.2% of the GDP. Now, GDP stands for gross domestic product, and it is defined as being the total value of goods and services produced by a country in a year. The U.S. has the biggest GDP in the world of over $23 trillion. So 1.2% of that is $276 billion. So that's a decrease in that much money in the economy. Now we know how it's defined and its consequences, but what causes poverty? And poverty has a few key causes. According to Bill Fay from debt.org, poverty is caused by 4 key factors: education levels, access to healthcare, access to food, and crime. Low levels of education, low access to food, and healthcare cause poverty, and there is a direct correlation to how much violent crime is in an area and how much poverty is in an area. And according to research from Flex Talk podcasts, poverty is caused by 5 things: poor economy, lack of affordable housing, substance abuse, lack of education, and medical expenses. With housing prices going up, the amount of people in poverty are also increasing due to the threshold talked about in the definition increasing. Substance abuse leads to addiction, and those addictions make it hard to keep and for people to keep their money and to keep their jobs. And since people in poverty are more likely to be sick, medical expenses keep racking up and it keeps them in poverty. Now, what can we do to help these people? There are many charities that help people who are in poverty, and there are many organizations that could use volunteers to help, even just feed the homeless. And we each have an ability to influence politics around poverty and policies to help alleviate poverty. Donating to charities helps in that those charities use that money that they get from you to help people who are in poverty, or at least alleviate their problems. And volunteering is a good way to see the impact of your actions and really understand what poverty can look like to people. And politics have a huge impact on our daily lives, including people in poverty. And if we can vote to implement better policies to help people in poverty, then that would be the most effective way to help them out. Now, I'm sure many of you thinking, especially since we're college students, we don't have much extra money. I'm super busy with class anyway, and there's no way my vote could possibly matter that much. The problem with thinking that is there's always a way if there's a will. Say you don't have extra money. You could go pick up an extra shift at work and donate that extra money. You make time with your friends anyway on the weekends. I know I do, even when I'm busy. Take a weekend and go feed the homeless or something. And thinking that your vote doesn't mean much already doesn't help the cause and makes things worse. So just to review my speech, poverty is defined by certain income requirements, and if people don't meet that, then they are considered in poverty. It causes some pretty serious problems to the economy, and it is caused by just a couple of few key causes. My objective today was to convince you to do more for the people in poverty. Now, like I said earlier, it's very simple to help these people out. Take an afternoon with some of your friends to go help people in poverty or even feed the homeless. There are many homeless shelters around here and organizations that do things for the homeless and people in poverty. Reach out to your coworkers and see if you could take one of their shifts and the money that you get from that shift, find a charity and donate to them so that they can help people in poverty. And the most influential part is participating in politics and be a force for good and help other people realize that poverty is a huge problem and that everybody can have a part in alleviating it and making it not as bad.